Good evening. Welcome to Austin After Hours. I'm Taylor Ellison. Thanks for being with us tonight. Here's a look at what's coming up. Fresh baked cookies delivered straight to your door. What started as taking orders on a cell phone and baking in their apartment kitchen is now a full-scale operation delivering cookies to happy customers everywhere. We chat with co-founders Tiffany and Leon Chen to hear how Tiff's treats came to life. And it's where real life meets fiction. Director Crystal Moselle has created a film around an all-girl crew of real skateboarders and placed them in a fictional story based on their own life. Moselle shares how a chance meeting with these teens on a train led to the making of the film and how Skate Kitchen captures the experience of women in male-dominated spaces. And it's nonstop laughs with comedian Matt Sadler. He's been a staple of the Austin comedy scene for years and performed at every Moon Tower Comedy Festival. With appearances on MTV and NPR, we're learning where this comic finds inspiration and how Austin stacks up to comedy cities across the country. But first, we're headed to the place where all your cookie dreams come true, Tiff's Treats mega headquarters with co-founders Tiffany and Leon Chen. I have to tell y'all, in college I had a nickname. It was the Dirty Does because I could eat a dozen in one sitting solo in the middle of a day for no reason. I can't think of anywhere I would rather be than here at the headquarters of Tiff's Treats Cookie Delivery.
We love this space. Previous to that, we had a really small office.
You just celebrated opening your 40th location. That is a really big milestone. Where did this journey begin?
We started in 1999 when we were college sophomores at the University of Texas.
My now wonderful wife here stood me up on a date, actually.
Oh, this sounds like an interesting story. Do tell.
Sure. I was out with friends and my activity ran long, and then I didn't call Leon to tell him I wasn't going to make it for the date that we had planned. I was staying at my mom's and she said, well, that was very rude. You should do something to apologize. And so I used to bake cookies for fun. And so that was my apology. I baked him a set of cookies and I drove him over to his house. And then when I got there, they were still warm. And he looked at them and he said, we're going to do this like pizza delivery. We're going to have a business. We can run it right out of my apartment and it'll be just like pizza delivery, except we're going to deliver warm cookies.
And Tiff immediately said no. I really thought that was that. Maybe 45 minutes later, she calls me and she says, I'll give it a try. She made me promise that we could only do it as a business if we did it Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to midnight, because we were students during the weekday and she wanted to go out with her friends on the weekends.
Look at you with your priorities straight.
Well, we were 19, so.
Worth it. We started in January of '99, and I think we went 3 days where we had the batches ready.
We put flyers at dorms, slid them underneath dorm rooms, put them on cars around campus, and we thought, okay, we'll sit back and we'll wait. The orders will pour in, and literally nothing for 3 days.
Yeah, but 3 days is not that long to wait.
I still remember our first order, a girl named Amy from University Towers. Don't know where she is today, but
God
Amy,
bless
if
you,
you're
Amy,
out there,
whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
that's right. We'd love to connect with you, Amy.
Yes.
In fact, I think she called during the day when we weren't open.
Right.
And she said, I'd like to get an order for tonight, left a voicemail, and Leon called me right away. He said, we've got an order, but it must be one of your friends. You know, which is your friend, Amy? I said, that's not a friend. That's a real customer. And so we were excited. So Leon made that very first delivery to University Towers dorm. That's kind of how we started dorms and apartments in West Campus.
Yeah, it used to be 5 orders a night would be plenty busy. We were just hanging out in our apartment. We would make the dough during the day. We'd have chocolate chips and M&M, and we'd have all those chips in my sock drawer in my bedroom.
We took the socks out.
You take socks, and it was clean sock. It's a clean sock drawer.
Good to know, right?
Well, the socks, we had
Yeah.
removed the socks.
Right, and so if you called and placed an order, we'd go into my bedroom, open the sock drawer out, and get a bag of chocolate chips and a bag of M&Ms, go to the kitchen and mix it into the dough. And that's literally how small we were when we first started. We started skipping class to deliver cookies during the day to the offices downtown. And so we decided, hey, let's try to make this thing not just a late night cookie delivery concept. We think there's a demand for the law firms, hospitals, downtown offices.
Did you realize you were creating this social phenomenon? Like when people When Tiff Treats shows up in an office, people go wild. I mean, I have chased a Tiff Treats delivery person before, and I know I'm not alone in that. Did you realize it would catch on in that way?
Certainly we didn't realize that when we started, but I will say people were excited about it from the get-go. People always ask us, when we talk about the couple years after we graduated college and we went full-time, we weren't making any money, and we were working crazy hours, and they say, well, why didn't you want to quit? And the truth is we never considered quitting, and the reason was because the community was so excited about what we were doing that it would have seemed very odd to be like, well, never mind, even though everybody loves it, we're just, we're not making enough money, we're not going to do it. And so, we made it work, and that excitement was there, and it was building.
Yeah, every other variable said we should have quit. The only thing that kept us going was everybody was just so excited about it.
Your heart was in it, and so was theirs.
Yes.
I love it. What's the most magical delivery you've ever been a part of?
Early on, we started realizing that what made us work is that we were connecting people in special moments.
There was a little boy in Plano, and he had been diagnosed with cancer. He was going through chemo, and the way we knew about that was his grandparents were putting in an order for him, and every week they would count down how many sessions left. So they would start in 6 left, and then the next week another one would come in 5 left, 4 left, and the staff at the store just noticed this. Week after week, these orders coming through. And so they finally get down to 1 and they send it out, and then they don't know. And so they actually just called the family. We've all been rooting for him. We want to know how he's doing, and we're just wanting to pass along our thoughts. And they were surprised. They didn't realize that we would have even noticed that. The whole team was just so excited to hear that he was doing well. He had gotten through all of his chemo.
He was in remission.
And we were just so excited to just be a part of it, just be a part of something uplifting.
That is such a special story.
Yeah.
You've seen tremendous amount of growth over the last years. What do you think one of the biggest factors of y'all's success is?
We just have that unique opportunity to really be a part of somebody's moment. That privilege, really, to connect people together.
So you can connect with someone thousands of miles away. We've had a soldier's order for their loved ones here at home.
What do you think the sophomore in college version of you two would say about who you've become now? What do you think they would look at this and
That's
think?
a ridiculously great question.
I probably think we were boring.
Oh,
That's true, because we don't go out every Friday and Saturday night anymore, that's for sure. I think the sophomore would be kind of happy because I had interned my freshman and sophomore years. I remember sitting there watching everybody tick down the clock at 4:45, 4:50, waiting for 5 o'clock to happen. And they could not wait. As soon as 5 o'clock happened, they were the happiest, but they were miserable the rest of the day. And so I remember sitting there thinking, I'm going to school to be a business major, and is this going to be my life? And so I definitely wanted to try to make it to where I was not one of those people who was just waiting for the clock, watching the clock. And so hopefully my 19-year-old self would be kind of happy that it's not that way. We enjoy being here every single day.
and what does the future hold?
It's going to be sensible growth. Tiff her name is on the box. Her name is on the sign. She's not going to allow the quality to dip at all. So we'll grow as fast as we can while maintaining the kind of quality and service that we want.
There is just something about a Tiff Treats cookie. We may never know the recipes, but as long as I can just eat as many as possible, that is totally fine.
I think we can work with that. I actually think we have some deliveries coming. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we do.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you. See, just this box makes people light up. What were you thinking when you planned on the white with the blue ribbon?
The first thing we did was look up on the internet, how can we package them? And then it was actually Leon's idea over here, Mr. Ribbon
My
Man.
one contribution.
Wait, so when you designed this, was it meant to be untied, or do you do what I do and just get it off as fast as you can?
I think far and away it's untie.
Oh.
But I think
do
it's
it right.
make your own adventure.
Let
You
me
can do
just
it
do
either
it
way.
properly, a little more. I need to get a new nickname other than Dirty Does.
Or you could live up to that nickname right here, right now.
That's right.
Oh, is that a challenge? They're so beautiful.
These are chocolate chip.
Yep,
And
got
then
some
under there looks like we've got some snickerdoodle.
So what's y'all's go-to order?
Oh, I'm oatmeal chocolate chip.
On Snickerdoodle.
So can I dive in here?
Do it.
It's for you.
We used to do, I think, 2 dozen cookies at a time.
2 dozen cookies every 15 minutes. Now our stores are equipped to do 40 dozen every 15 minutes.
Wow. It's chocolate, folks. It's chocolate milk and unlimited Tiff Treats. Here, grab a milk. Let's cheers.
I love milk.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. best day ever. Thanks, Tiffany and Leon, for making life sweeter for all of us. After the break, we sit down with director Crystal Moselle to hear how she brought her film to life with a cast that had never acted before.
Hi, I'm Chef Tyson Cole. Come see me at Uchiko. You're watching Austin After Hours.
Hi guys, I am Bobby Bones. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Gosling. I can't even cut an ID without people laughing at me behind me. And you're watching Austin After Hours. Thank you, because we need the viewers. Hello, I am Bobby Bones, and you're watching Austin After Hours. Thank you for it.
What was that synergy on set when all the people would be there? Was it a magical experience?
It was so crazy.
We're excited to have you and celebrate this film. I really enjoyed having the opportunity to see it. How do you explain it to someone who is just learning about Skate Kitchen?
I think the interesting part about the film is that it's about a real group of girls that live in New York City that are skateboarders.
Yeah.
But it's a scripted version of their lives. So they have different names and all of the plot points are different than their lives.
Yeah, I'm at the library.
It's inspired by me observing them and kind of immersing myself into their world.
What I love also about this story is how you met these girls.
I was on the G train in New York City and I saw Rochelle and Nina. They had skateboards and Nina has like this incredible voice. It's a voice that will quiet a room. She has like something really charismatic about her, and I saw them talking and I approached them and I was like, hey, would you guys ever want to do some sort of video project together? And I think they're probably a little skeptical of it. We had coffee. They're so excited. They're like, we've never had coffee before. I said, you know, I have this opportunity to make this film. It's a short film. Would you guys want to do it? And it kind of just took off from there. It was like a little collaboration. I don't remember this, but they said that I said, so are there more of you? Because it was such an incredible thing to see a girl with a skateboard.
Yeah.
Which is not an everyday occurrence in New York City. Now it is, but 2 years ago, there wasn't that many girls skateboarding. I think that they've really kind of spearheaded this.
Yeah, and there's such a powerful message and metaphor in all of that. What are you hoping people kind of glean from this film when they see that?
I mean, for me, the metaphor is you can do things that you think you normally can't do.
For a while, I was feeling really lonely. That loneliness that you have, even in a crowded room, but I don't feel it anymore.
So what about for you, you know, being a female director, who was it or what was it that helped you feel capable of trying something and believing in yourself?
For me, I get inspired by my subjects, so when I did Wolfpack, hanging out with those kids and doing that film, they were the ones that drove me because I felt like I have to finish this for them. I want to follow through. Before that, like following through with myself was a little bit harder, but when it's for somebody else, it's easier for me.
Yeah, you have that accountability. What about the process with those girls? You said you immersed yourself in their life. How did you guys get to know each other?
I would just hang out with them at the skate parks, but it was cool. I'd kind of just like step back and listen to their conversations, which were so incredible. There's 7 girls that had never acted in a film before. For like about 6 months we did these improv classes. They really took it on and were very serious about it and open, and they got a real chance to create this film. I really love the hangout scenes where you're just with them and they're talking about experiences and asking really vulnerable questions that normally you don't see in a movie. But I also see this film to be like a dance film. It's just very beautiful to see them skateboard and be in their worlds and kind of maneuvering with them and just being up close. When you're shooting skateboarding, you have to shoot like each trick like a million times. So we were actually gonna like name the movie this trick, like it's called a no comply. It's a very like swaggy New York trick.
What about any broken bones in the duration of this film?
No, so actually there was about 250 skateboarders on set and not one broken bone.
Bravo, that's fantastic.
And like hardcore skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like we just like went for it, but that's like how they are.
What was that synergy on set when all the people would be there? Was it a magical experience?
It was so crazy. The LES skate park, which is like this beautiful, just kind of like cathedral looking park in the Lower East Side. It's underneath a bridge with a subway on top. So every 30 seconds the subway goes over. Craziest sound you've ever heard in your life. So we'd have to get the dialogue between the skate.
Oh,
It was like, okay, every 30, okay.
What about when you saw it come to fruition on the screen for the first time with an audience?
Nerve-wracking. I mean, it's hard to know what a bigger audience will feel about what you're making. And I was kind of more concerned, are people that are not teenagers gonna like this film? But it was afterwards, I remember this, 50-year-old woman coming up to me and saying, hey, like, this is incredible. Like, I feel so nostalgic to being a girl. So it's like, this film isn't about skateboarding, it's about, growing up.
I love that she came up to you, and it seems like the response has been so positive, and everybody just gets what they needed from it.
Yeah, I got like really great reviews at Sundance. I was so surprised.
How can you be surprised?
I don't know why, because I just didn't think, I remember looking at all the reviewers and I was like, oh my God, they're all men.
Yeah.
I was like, we're screwed. And I realized I'm totally wrong, that actually men like this film too. Actually in London, this boy in the audience, he's like, this is the first film that I've ever watched that made me want to be a woman.
Wow. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, universal messages like that everybody can enjoy. Congratulations to you. That's so exciting. From the girls, what did you learn?
It's a really interesting thing to hang out with teenagers all the time. I really just try to be with them in their world, and they're so positive and insightful, and I don't know, it gave me a lot of hope for the future hanging out with these girls. I was like, oh, okay, I think we're gonna be okay.
That's so great. I love that. It tugs at my heartstrings. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Cool.
Really appreciate it. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Crystal. You can check out Skate Kitchen in theaters later this summer. And after the break, we've got the best seat in the house with comedian Matt Sadler at the Paramount Theater.
Hi, I'm Andy Kindler. Why am I fake smiling? Because I'm about to tell you to watch, you're watching Austin After Hours. And I'm trying to drive you insane.
Hey, it's Judah Friedlander, and I'm not sure what I'm doing right now, but I know what you're doing. You're watching Austin After Hours, because you're a winner. All right, cue marker. Towards me.
Yeah, towards the other way.
Other side.
Yeah, that one.
Good.
Thank you for sitting here.
Thank you for having me.
So what is the Austin comedy scene like in 2018?
It's exploding. People move here from other cities to get discovered in Austin, believe it or not, and then they move on to New York or LA. Austin's kind of a comedy layover. People complain, they're like, oh my God, this city used to be so cool. You could walk down the street, didn't have to pay for parking, rent was cheap, and now look at it. And I'm like, you moved here in April.
How has that evolved from where it was years ago?
Well, when I started years ago, it was a bit of a challenge. There were a lot of people weren't really into comedy. They didn't know Austin had a comedy scene. So you would play downtown and there would be people who were just drunk. And I liken it to the Soviet Olympic athletes in the 80s. They used to train under oxygen-deprived situations so that when they got out on the field for the competition, they had all this extra oxygen. That's what downtown Austin was like. If you could get people to listen to a joke then, anywhere else in the country, it's going to kill.
Yeah, that is some rough stuff.
Yeah.
You really earned your stripes out there.
Well, you gotta suck for a long time.
So at what point in your life did you know that you liked making people laugh and that you wanted to make a life out of it?
When I realized that I was terrible at everything else. Yeah, I got fired.
Came at it
I literally got fired from every job I've ever had. It's addictive. It's just something when you're on stage and you're 2 steps ahead of the audience and they're eating out of your hand, it's the greatest feeling in the world. Where are the married people? Who's married tonight? Oh, look at you. That's a fun question to ask a big group like yourselves. Because you get the people that are happy about it who are like, yeah, we're married and it's so fun. And then you get the other people who are like. Conversely, when you've written something and you're just so excited about it and you can't wait to tell a room full of strangers, and you go, bah, and they go, that's the loneliest you'll ever be. That's the loneliest feeling in the world.
That is an island.
Yeah.
How does one recover from that?
A lot of booze.
Oh, okay. Is that the only way you can recover?
No, there's drugs.
What is the place that you like to be in Austin when you're performing?
Oh, I like almost everywhere in Austin. You know, when you're 25 years old, the road is really fun because there's girls and there's booze and there's all these fun things, and you get to, you know, stay out late and the whole thing. I'm 45 now, and I
No way.
Yeah, and I like to
What
sleep.
moisturizer are you using? I would like it.
It's mustard.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would not.
Just rub it right on my face.
Never mind.
No, I like to sleep in my own bed with my wife and my dogs. I like to be in bed by midnight now because I'm old.
I love that you say midnight as if that's early, because to a lot of people, midnight is still late, but not in your
Not
world.
a comedian, yeah.
Not even a
no,
little
comedians, that's when we go out after the show.
bit. How do other cities and places compare to Austin?
They don't. There are other places, and they don't have the dynamics that Austin has. It's an incredible scene that people are just clawing to be on stage. And when I started, there were only 2 rooms. There was one up north and one in downtown. And comedians got tired of waiting for stage time, and they started their own shows at coffee houses and all around town. And I love that kind of ambition. There are some people that just want to do stand-up comedy so that they can get on TV, and they can play the wacky neighbor, and they can do the comedic thing on a sitcom. And then there are people that really just love and adore being in front of an audience and being able to just lead them where you want them to go. And that's why I do it. I mean, if something amazing happened to me tomorrow, I would still always do stand-up comedy, because there's no feeling like that in the world. There's no drug, there's no sex, there's no anything that's ever compares to my wife's right behind that guy.
I know, it's like, wow, he's...
Not that it's not good. A lot of times I almost feel bad for the audience because the stuff that's happening on stage is incredibly funny, but it's not the funniest things that are happening in the building. The green room where the comedians hang out, that's where the really funny stuff happens, where comedians just, 6 or 7 guys and girls in a room, just insulting each other and cutting each other off at the knees.
It's like a roast.
Yeah, it is.
How
But
do
it's
you
just,
even
it's so
survive
casual.
it?
It's not even, nobody's even trying. It's just reflex now. That's the funniest part of the room.
We're going to need you to take a little GoPro camera in there
No,
next time.
no.
Oh, what does it look like when you prepare your material?
I do a lot of writing at my house by myself, and I get chronic stage fright. Like, I'm terrified of being on stage.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
Okay.
And so much so that before a show, I'm pacing, I'm rubbing the back of my head, and other comedians can't be around me. They're like, you are freaking me out. I can't
Like
be
your
next to you.
energy is...
Once they say my name and I take the mic in my hand, everything's fine, and I'm perfectly comfortable. But it's the lead up to that. And that's a rush that if that ever goes away, I'll quit stand-up comedy.
I was on a flight where the pilot lost it, and that's the most terrifying thing in the world. Like, when you're going and you hit the turbulence, and he comes on and goes, everybody, just hold on!
You were talking about the mystery show.
Yes.
So what does that look like?
No, you don't. I can't. I can't.
Oh, so you know. We just don't get to
I might know or I might not know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's going to be a super big surprise that we don't know who it's going to be.
Well, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What do you have for lunch today?
We just had chips and guacamole.
Cool. So who's going to play the show coming up in a couple days?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Still nothing?
See what you did?
Can we just get a little
See
window?
what you did? I knew that sounded like a weird interview question for leading me down that road, Taylor.
So what does the future hold for you, Matt?
I just got back from Iraq. I was there for a month entertaining troops.
How did that go?
It went really well. It was super fun. Yeah, we were all over the Middle East. Hopefully I'll get to do that again. Cruise ships are nice. It's nice to get paid to go to the Caribbean. I took my wife to Italy a couple of years ago, and we went all over the Mediterranean together with Greece and Malta.
Y'all are doing life right.
Yeah, I told her, I said, listen, I may not be very good in bed, but I'll take you all over the world. And so she agreed to marry me.
And on that note, we shall call it a day and say thank you so much. Because you probably have a conversation to attend to.
Yes, probably. It's going to be a long car ride home.
Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Matt. You can find him making audiences laugh across Austin. And thank you for joining us tonight on this episode of Austin After Hours. We'll be right back here next Friday. Until then, find us on YouTube or on social media and have a great weekend. Cheers.